Welcome back to the Chicago Tomahawk. I'm Mike, and I got my linemate Matt with me. And today we're going to get into some Blackhawks news and then some NHL news. Go over some playoff storylines a bit. But the Hawks beat the Yotes and the Ducks this week and got absolutely demolished by the Kings. And Bedard has been on fire. We were talking about it last week how Bedard came back and him and Brock Faber, Faber was starting to close in on him. I think he had 37 points and Bedard had 43. Well, this week Bedard's got 51 and Faber's got 38. So I think maybe Bedsy was listening to us and he's like, I need to put some room between us. So yeah, that's it's incredible, man. This kid, he's producing. A lot of people are talking about his plus minus, but he isn't on a very good squad, and it's not really, considering that he's a rookie and he's not really playing in, he's not playing on the penalty kill or anything. His job is to put up points, and that's what he's doing. So, hey, more kudos to him. Matt, did you see? Did you see anything out of that Kings game that we could take away where it's like, okay, we had two good games before that and now, they stumbled against the Kings. What can we take away from that game to step forward?
Well, we could take away, we played the Ducks, which they're kind of at our level, and the Coyotes were at their level, and the Kings are kind of a borderline wild card team. I think they got some good players still. They got some good young guys. Kopitar's still good. I know they recently had their coach McClellan got fired, and I forget who the new guy was, but they've been playing better. But yeah, we're just like, you think you have a good weekend, against the Ducks, and you're kind of flying high, and then you play a team that's just at another level, and that's what happened. And if anything with the Hawks, Soderblom had a rough night. It's going to happen. He's young still, and they took advantage of mistakes. And Soderblom made some mistakes, and they let him pay for it. And he ended up getting pulled that game. So, and you got to score goals to win too. So 5-0, it pretty much is the offense just wasn't there.
Do you think that that the Blackhawks are? Obviously, we beat up on the Ducks. They're a bottom ring team. Do you think that maybe these Ducks teams, that they're looking for, they how do I say it, man?
Retool?
They drafted Leo Carlson, and you would think that they'd be taking a step forward, but they're in the same spot that they've been in, for the past 8 years.
Stuck. Yeah. You know what? I'd give up. I'd move on Zegras. I don't think he's kind of fits in really anymore. The new guys that they have, I really like Mason McTavish. I've always been a John Gibson fan, but you hear his name in the rumors almost every single year. I'm surprised he's on the team.
Yeah.
I'm surprised no one, made an offer for him, like New Jersey and, stuff like that. I don't want to get into that again, but he's still a decent goalie. And it's just the team's like young on the transition, but like you said, they feel like it's been a while. They've been stuck in like rebuild mode, and guys just aren't taking that next step yet. And I think they're going to be in the same boat as us for the next 2-3 years. But if you can move Zegras, you'll get younger assets and guys that fit in better. And they got that kid with the Flyers trade. The kid who didn't want to play for the Flyers, Gauthier, Cutter Gauthier? Cutter
Gauthier, something like that.
He's going to be on that team next year. That's probably a step up. And, they got rid of that Jamie Drysdale. He's a good defenseman, but that hopefully that works out for them, and maybe they can pull off another trade like that with Zegras. I could see him going to New Jersey or Montreal to play with his buddies, and maybe they'll give up a good prospect or a current guy and kind of shake it up a little bit. But other than that, I think we're right there with them. We Bedard had a great night against them. Foligno, another one. Kurashev. That line's been very good, and they just made them look like a team like rebuilding like us. But it's weird. They got more wins than us this year. But we'll have to wait and see next year if they're gonna move Gibson or move forward with Zegras too.
Yeah. I'm just really surprised with that squad. I think that they've been moving in the right direction, with the drafting, but it just seems like they just can't, they just can't put wins together, which is really really incredible. So Colin Backwell had his first career hat trick recently, and congratulations to him, man. There's been a lot of guys, I want to say a lot of knuckle draggers on this team that have really tried to step up and take advantage of their opportunity. Colin Backwell is one of them. Jason Dickinson is another one. I really feel for these guys looking to show that, they can make it in the NHL. And, but I mean, in the long run, do you really see them on the team, long term?
No, I think I could see Blackwell coming back, being that gritty fourth line kind of guy, penalty kill, shot blocker guy. And he's got a scoring touch. He put 3 in the other day and he could score. He's a hustler, and, that's like a thing all fans like to see when they're in the stands, no matter where. It's that hardworking blue-collar guy, and I just don't think, he probably won't last when we're contending, but he's a good, kind of fill-in guy, like a roster fill-in guy until you get there. And he kind of reminds me of an Adam Burish, not as, probably not as good, but the hustle and the hitting and, just that hard work, and I think it's good for the locker room right now. It rubs off. And Dickinson, I honestly thought, dude, he'd be gone. I thought he would have been a hot commodity at the deadline, guy who could score and top 6 kind of fill-in guy. But hey, I'm happy he's here. He's another guy. He got a good contract too. But other than that, yeah, I would. I don't think they're gonna make it to the. I give us another 4 or 5 years, honestly, man. When we're finally there, maybe Bedard, or like you said, Bedard's first year in his new contract, his bridge deal, or whatever he decides to take. I think that's when we're gonna be like, all right, our goal is the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I would like for them to kind of, it's good when we've got these guys on their entry level contracts, so that when we're competing, we're not having to worry about money, or unless we want to lock everybody up.
Yeah, well, look at
and say, hey, I hope they all pan out.
Well, yeah, look what the Lightning did. They locked all their core guys up, and it's paid off big time. They're making some big coin, but they're still getting to the playoffs. They're still contending for the cup. They made it 3 times in a row. They won 2. So it works. Toronto, they're taking the approach too, but they're just having different luck up there.
Yeah, definitely. Lukas Reichel's being called up, man. He's been producing down in Rockford. I don't know why he was sent down in the first place. Do you think that maybe him internally, he's like, you know what? I don't want to be sent down again. I want to play in the NHL. Do you think that he's going to maybe take this opportunity more seriously? Because they said at one point that he was losing effort in practice, and that's not good.
I don't know.
I mean, I get it that you're frustrated. I get it that you're frustrated, but at the same time, you shouldn't be, dogging it in practice a little bit.
I'm 100% with that. Yeah, if you dog it in practice and you're not performing, you're probably going to get, punished for it. But who knows about that? That could be all just fake reports and everything. But yeah, on a team that's rebuilding, year 1 of a rebuild team, a team of 3rd and 4th liners, probably you have to say 95% of the team isn't a part of the future, and he's a possibility of being part of the future. You want to get, your microscope locked in on this guy. And I was vocal about it from the beginning. I don't understand what that was. If that was a mind, like a hey, get your mind right down there and come back, or if you're playing games with the guy, to try that approach. But for a team that was preaching patience, 50 games is not a lot of games for a young kid. So they're kind of being a hypocrite. You got to let the kid grow and make mistakes and learn from it, and put him in a role where you want him. Don't change his role every week. I mean, this was a report with Kirby Dach. When he was traded, he goes, they put me on the 3rd line center role. That's not me. I was not comfortable there. I'm playing against Nathan Mackinnon and stuff like that. It's very intimidating. And Yeah, say what you want about Doc, but he's right. He's like, that's not me. I'm not like a Dave Bolin guy. I'm not a Dirk Graham. I can't play that game.
Yeah.
And you got to find the right role for Reichel, and that's up to the management and coaching. So if anything, they have to take a little blame too. You can't be flipping the guy all over, fourth liner, and playing 5 minutes a game, and go out there and create some energy and stuff. Come on, dude. That's not him. If anything, I think the kid's a winger. Make him a top 6 winger, and give him a shot with Bedard. Say Foligno and Kurashev kind of get a little cold. Swap it up a little bit. See if he's got any. See if they can get something going. If not, put him on the second line. That's what he is on this team. He's a second line winger center, maybe. So you got to give him a chance to succeed with it. You can't put him on a third and fourth line role. It won't work.
Well, here's a little bit of a monkey wrench. Landon Slaggert signed his entry-level contract. He was a captain for Notre Dame, and he played his first game recently. And I think him coming up and Reichel bringing Reichel up, I think that maybe they're like, hey, you know what? Let's get all of these kids in and see if they can bond in a way, or if they can maybe get some chemistry together. What do you think of that, Matt?
Yeah, I like that deal at the end of the year. It's the Hawks are, they're pretty good with that. They get these guys out of college. They're they've always been, even though in the cup runs, we'd always get that top guy, and they bring him in and like, hey, let's see what he's got on the main roster. And if it's not any good, they send him down, and he's damn good, AHL guy, good call up. And yeah, I'd honestly like to see Del Mastro get called up, but he's playing so well down in Rockford. A guy like, I'd love to see the future of defensemen. I'm excited about. I think that's our strongest suit right now. We got even Colton Dock on the wing. I heard he's been doing well. But Nolan Allen, I'd love to see these guys at some NHL competition right now, just to see, like, all right, let's see what these guys got, like a 5-game trial or a 10-game kind of thing at the end of the year. Let's see what they can do. But I just don't see it happening. I think Rockford's competing for a playoff spot, and that would just really hurt them bad.
Yeah, and it kind of makes you wonder if bringing in Lukas Reichel at a time like this is really beneficial for them. Obviously, it's not.
Yeah, I just don't understand why he was sent down in the first place. I think it could have been like, hey, kid, we want you to get a full season under your belt. We're going to analyze it after the year. And Twitter, it's so funny, man. Like, you see these guys that, like, they cheer for this guy at the beginning of the year, like, this guy's going to be awesome. And I was one of them, and I'm still a Reichel fan. I still think he's going to be a good player. But then you see how, it just sways. Like, oh, he's only got 5 goals or 10 goals or whatever. Not even. Send him down. This guy sucks. He's a bust. How can you call a guy a bust? It's his first full season. Yeah. It's incredible to me. And then it's like jumping over to football. Like, all these people were cheering about that Fields kid. Like, he's the man. Oh, I'm behind my QB number 1. He's traded. Oh, he fucking sucked to begin with. I'm like, oh my God. Is it a Chicago thing, or is it just, it's like, what are we doing here? Like, and I remember you were taking a lot of heat. I think I texted you. I'm like, dude, you need to dig up these tweets that these guys were like, they were killing you for calling this guy not like the real thing. But they're doing it. The Hawks fans are doing it with Reichel too. And like, I just hope Reichel goes on a freaking tear. Like, he gets like 10, 15 assists to finish it off, a couple goals. I don't think he's a goal scorer. I think he's a straight up playmaker, which you need. I think he's going to, hopefully get 5 goals and maybe 10 assists his last run. That would be great, just to shut these people up, because it drives me crazy.
Yeah, I'm a fan of, I like Lukas Reichel, and it's really funny that you mentioned that about him, is because, unfortunately for him, Bedard coming in and playing the way he is, it has made Reichel look bad, because a lot of people are expecting Reichel to do the same thing, and it's not fair.
You feel bad for all the kids coming up, dude. It's like, okay, Bedard did this. What are you going to do? It's like, oh, geez, I'm not that guy. The skill level is just incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's a kid, and he's playing amongst the men, but he's always done that though. Ever since he was a kid, he's always played with people older than him. And There really isn't that much of a change for him coming in. Maybe the speed a little bit, and maybe the physicality of the game. But other than that, man, he's always played with people older than him, and he hasn't had to make that adjustment. Add in his God-given ability, and you've got the perfect season for a rookie. I think Reichel needs more time. I like Landon Slaggert. I think that he's going to do well, and I'd like to see these kids play through the end of the season. I mean, how many games are left? I think like 20.
I think there's less than that even now.
Yeah,
playoffs start at April. I think I want to say right end of April.
Right,
mid-April.
I think middle of April. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to see them play through the rest of the season.
Well, I was saying that with Reichel too, man. It's like, hey, you got to give this guy a full year, and even next year, you got to start him on the NHL roster. And if he's not the guy, let's think about moving him or sending him. Well, he's got his deal's up, I think. So I'm hoping they give him another 2-year bridge type of thing. Hey, we still like you. We want to see what you got. And if it doesn't work out, maybe at the deadline approach a deal like a swap, with another guy that's kind of not working out. Kind of like what they did with Nylander and Yoki Haru. Something like that, and you try to spark him with a new organization or something, but you still got to give him time. 50 games played in the season, it's not enough, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not. Do you think that the Blackhawks are headed in the right direction with the way that they're treating rookies?
Well, obviously Bedard you can't even consider him a rookie, he's just like a star. Yeah. But like last year they were really, really good with Reichel, I thought. Like there was no pressure.
I thought so too.
Like it was a good idea. Let's you know what, kid, you're doing great down there. We want to see what you got. It's going to be a couple games up here. And he did good every call-up. Some of the games he looked, like I said, better than Patrick Kane at some nights. And I like what they're doing. And then this year, it's like, okay, kid, you got your spot. And I just feel like he was, line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 2. Like it was just too much role flipping. And you can't do that with a young kid. You can't. And right. I heard a great report about Lafreniere in New York. They couldn't find a spot for him either. They had him at a third line role, fourth line guy, and he's a bust. He's a bust. You get a new coach in there, Peter Laviolette. The guy's a good coach. It's like, nah, dude, this guy's a top 6. Look at his season. He's having a career year. He's about to hit 20 goals. I think he's close to 50-something points. Kind of like a Bedard season. He's still young. And they found the right role for him, and now it's like, wow, we were crazy for thinking to get rid of him. We found a spot for him. We're not flipping him with new line mates every night. He's getting chemistry. You got to do that with every kid like that. You cannot flip-flop him unless he's like a role guy, like a fourth line banger, like an enforcer. Yeah, okay, you could keep him and flop him anywhere you want. It ain't going to matter. He's not going to put up the numbers, but Reichel is the guy you have to take that approach with, I think.
Yeah. Really interesting, man. So the Hawks take on the Sharks Sunday night. That's going to be a battle of two tanking teams looking to get to win that Mackinnon Celebrini sweepstakes. We got Bedard last year, man. I don't think we're going to get number 1 2 years in a row. Do you think that's a possibility?
No, the world will burn. The hockey world will melt. The snowflakes will melt away if we get. Oh my goodness.
Do you think Crosby's happy in Pittsburgh?
I think he's. You know what? It really reminds me of when we traded DeBrincat with Kane. Like he was like that dude was like my best friend, And then when they got rid of Gensel, the young kid Crosby really liked playing with, and they interviewed him in the locker room. He was not like Sidney Crosby at all. He was really cold and like, just leave me alone type of like, that's enough, but he's like, yeah, ask them. Yep, sure. Yep, whatever. Yeah. And you could tell there's a lot of frustration with him, and maybe the patience is wearing thin, and it makes you wonder like, hey, is Is he going to go play with his buddy Nate Mackinnon, who's absolutely tearing it up right now? Like, he's probably the Hart MVP #1 contender right now. I don't know, man. I think that it would look so weird without a Pittsburgh jersey on him, but maybe he's too good, man. He produces still at a high level. It's just a waste, for him not to be in the playoffs. He should be competing for that cup every season. He's so good. But It's going to happen, it happened to us. You're a good team for so many years, and eventually guys leave, guys get older, guys, get traded, and it's kind of happening now. And I think they held on to Malkin a little too long. Letang's not having a good year. I respect Dubas for trying to, he brought in Carlson, guy can put up points, obviously, and it's just, it's not working out there. So the rebuild might be beginning soon, and Sid might not want that. So it would be, we're going to have to see. I heard it's like a 50-50 that he stays. Now, it used to be like, oh my God, that's not even, it's 100% I'm staying.
Can you imagine him in another jersey?
I can't. But the only team I can see him going to is Colorado. Honestly, I don't know how it would work with money, but Sid's obviously got the money. He's made his cash. But I think it would be super cool to see him and MacKinnon play together. The hockey fan in me would love that.
A lot of people want that to happen.
I mean, if you can somehow do the numbers and the caps and the retaining, and they can make it work, and they get a big haul back, because he would deserve a big haul back. He's still putting up, like I said, he's elite numbers right now, and I just, man, it would be very weird. It's like Kane in a Red Wings jersey, dude. It's like, what the heck am I looking at? I would say the same thing for Sid.
It's hard to look at, dude.
It is, and even that Rangers jersey is like, cool. It's cool you're in red, white, and blue, but it's the freaking Rangers. Come on, man. But in Detroit's even worse. So I just, yeah. I mean, and they're battling for a playoff spot. So Kane's showing up. That's the right guy they grabbed, and I'm glad he's still, putting up the numbers like that.
Man, I just can't see him in another jersey. It just seems so weird to me. I would be surprised that he would leave. I'm expecting him to say, hey, you know what? I've spent all my time here. I want to help these guys, bring the next group up, or what have you, and go down with the ship in a way.
Yeah, I would love that too.
I think that's more Crosby. I mean, a lot of people, yeah, sure, we want to see him with MacKinnon. I mean, I get it, but considering, I mean, he's like Mr. Pittsburgh there, man.
God. It would be crazy. It would. There would be riots in the street if he leaves.
So even if that is the case, I mean, during the Sharks game the other day, the attendance was like dismal for Pittsburgh, and they had a problem before Crosby came in. Mario Lemieux had to save the organization. Are they is that gonna need to happen again?
I don't know. It's weird. I mean, they've been good since like 2008, right? 2007. They've been competing since Sid's got drafted. People come to see Sid play, and it's kind of like with us with Bedard. We're not a good team, but people want to see that kid play, and we still put up good attendance numbers. But yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with that, and it makes you wonder. Like, these guys maybe they're fed up with the decisions. There's been a lot of management changes. Like Ron Hextall went there. He didn't last long. Brian Burke is like a hockey-minded dude. He didn't last long, and they bring in Kyle Dubas, who's like the wizard with the Maple Leafs. I honestly thought he left a mess for him, but a lot of people like this kid. He's a young guy. He's got a fresh mind, but he doesn't really have much to start with, At least he had a good core with Matthews, and they're young. Now he's got an aging guy, like core of Crosby, Letang, Malkin, Carlson. These guys are older, and they're going to decline. I mean, Sid might, be fine, but the other guys, they're starting to decline big time. So it's a tough job, man. You get rid of Crosby, you're going to be known for getting rid of Crosby. And if you keep him, it's like, why'd you keep that guy so long? Like he's older, but he's like, hey, maybe I owe it to the guy. He's put his time in here. He's comfortable here. He wants to wear the C until he's done. And either way, man, I would be happy either way as a hockey fan, because he is the Pittsburgh Penguins to me. Him and Mario, for sure.
Absolutely.
But it would be cool. Would be cool to see him in, an Avs jersey, even though it would suck for us. But it would be cool to see him and Mackinnon kind of on a line together. That would just be like not fair,
Yeah, do you think that they would play together? Like, wouldn't you want to spread it out a little bit?
Well, I think they got enough depth to do that. And even on the power play, it would just be cool to see. Like, they're just too... Did you see the play he made last night, Mackinnon? It was versus the Oilers. He was chasing a puck. It was against Bouchard on the Oilers. Nate kicked as like a back kick. He kicked the puck right to his backhand in one motion. Backhand pass to the opening guy in the slot, and he buried it for the win. And it was just like effortless. Like it was like a kick. I tweeted it. I was like, that is just amazing. But that guy is so skilled. He skates fast. He's just he's a bull, dude. And if he had Sid with him, dude. Oh my God, that wouldn't even be fair.
A lot of people talk about McDavid's speed, but I would. He's definitely faster than McKinnon, but not by very much. But McKinnon's like this bull coming down at full speed, dude. It's like, get out of the way.
He'll run you over with the puck. That's how he is. Yeah. McDavid could just turn it up from like 0 to 90 like a freaking rocket going off. And he'll just avoid you, but McKinnon will go through you. And that's the scary thing. Like, if you're a defenseman, it's like, oh, shit. Like, I'm just going to, like, hang on to him, just kind of shadow this guy. I'm not going to try to step up.
Maybe he'll trip over me.
I'm going to just I'm going to stay with him. And if I try to step up on him, I'm dead. And then they're going to score.
Hopefully, I should, when you play the Colorado, you should wear your neck guard because maybe you could trip him and hopefully it doesn't cut your throat.
Exactly. You're better off just turtling, laying like a log and take him up. But he's so good, he'd probably jump with the puck.
Just jump right over you.
He's unbelievable. Yeah. Probably my favorite right now for the Hart. And you know me, I'm a Tampa guy. I like Cooch. Oh, yeah. But I just think McKinnon is just kind of saying, hey, you know what? This is my year, dude. And he's been good. Yeah. He's been really good.
He's deserving, and it's been all year too.
And like if you took the guy away from the team Colorado wouldn't be that good. And if you took Cooch away for a little bit, which he's been away, Tampa's still good. And McDavid, if you took McDavid away, they got Draisaitl, but they're still like not an elite team like Colorado and Tampa. So I got to give it to Nate this year. As of now, he's just on fire.
It's him and actually Kucherov, man, you got to throw some credit to him too, because it's been all year for him. Him and McKinnon have just been going back and forth for like it's going to be kind of crazy. It's going to be a full 82 game battle royale between those two.
I keep hearing Matthews should be put in there if he hits 70 goals, but I saw a stat if you took McDavid has more assists than Matthews does points. That's how like the skill is, No doubt about it. He's the best shooter in the league, Matthews. Yeah. But these three guys are the best players. They'll put up goals and, assists and stuff. So I couldn't put him in the same category, even though he's going to get the Richard, the best goal scorer, which is still an honor. Yeah. But he's only got like 20 something assists. So, I mean, it just shows you that the dude's a shoot first guy, and he always will be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's his job. I mean, would you really want Matthews trying to, set people up?
No, because then he's not shooting, and that's his best.
Yeah.
He's a shooter. It goes in a lot.
His best trait. Right. All right, everybody, that's all that we got for you for this podcast. Be sure to, the playoffs are going to be coming up. Be sure to tune in because we're going to be covering the playoffs. That's going to be a lot of fun. I've been getting into the playoffs more and more recently, and we're going to make a good time of it. So that's all we got for you this week, and we'll catch you on the next one. This is the Tomahawk, and we're out of here.